The next point that we are going to make is to buy companies that are diversified, right? That have multiple sources of income. I think that's always critical, especially now where a lot of companies are being hit and a lot of companies, because of high interest rates and inflation and so on. I think if a company makes most of its money just from one product, and for example, the raw material is in short supply, right? Or let's say the company is heavily reliant on, I don't know, gas, and gas prices are going up, right? And they haven't sought out renewables. So, give an example like with
Or there's a
Simco,
limit to how much they can increase their price.
or a limit to how, yeah, there's a limit to how much the customers can take on that cost, right? So you have to watch out for those kind of things,
A
right?
good example of that
Because
was Creamy. So
creamy
Creamy,
is
for
too,
example,
yeah.
they're Caribbean Cream. They're an ice cream company, but they are more budget ice cream. So they're the largest. Um, I think most of the ice cream in Jamaica, I think it's like maybe 50 or 60% of the ice cream market in Jamaica they control, but they're known as a budget ice cream. So they, for example, can't just suddenly raise their prices like maybe someone else who's at a higher price, different market can. So, for example, there was there like with ice cream, for example, um a big cost in the manufacturing process is electricity because in the process of ice cream you need a lot of cooling for heating too, and so they use a lot of electricity. So when the price of oil, LNG, all of that stuff was soaring a lot last year, that can affect their process a lot because if they're relying on JPS and stuff, which produces mostly gets most of its power from LNG, the price of their LNG is going up. The price of electricity can go up, which could be the price of cream is cream is raw material costs. And then there were a lot of shortages of some of the things that they actually needed um in the process of ice cream. I think it was eggs at one point were short because I think the same, maybe the bird flu, there's things like that. And then that once again ties back to understanding the money. How does the company make money? So if you understand, for example, if the company makes money from selling ice cream, what are the things that are needed to make ice cream? If the things that are needed to make ice cream are increasing heavily, and that company is a budget, understanding how it makes money, it's a budget ice cream company. It's not going to be very easy to just increase the cost of an ice cream that's supposed to be one of the cheapest ice creams there. So you can understand, hey, their money may not be so well. But then if you take it the next step further, Creamy has been talking about a combined heat and power plant, which is essentially it produces the heat. It's like usually we'll use, like, for example, liquid what do you call it, liquefied natural gas, and it will produce the heat which ice you need in the ice cream process for pasteurization, which is like how you kind of kill a lot of the germs and stuff. And then the cooling aspect sometimes, well, wait, there's different types. So there's CHP, or combined heat and power plant, where it's electricity and heat, and then there's combined cooling heat and power plant. I think they're going for a CHP, just cooling and electricity. But for example, if Creamy's costs are heavily on electricity, which is heating the ice cream for the pasteurization, and then the freezer to store the ice cream, if they are wiping out a huge cost for that, that could cause them to cut their costs a lot, which could cause them to make much more money. See, understanding the money. Yeah. But you're talking about like having a company that's
Sorry.
diversified.
Yeah, I
Uh,
was muted. I apologize, but yeah, no, I fully agree, bro, 100%. And yeah, you're right. Yeah, so I was talking about a company that it is diversified, whether their products or services or so on, those are diversified. So it's harder for them to get hit because if they get hit on one front, right, it could be buffered by the other products that they're selling or the other services that they're offering. So think about companies that are like conglomerates, like we mentioned Grace Kennedy before, right? Grace sells a ton of different products. So okay, there was one time something was in shortage, like let's say wheat or so on is in shortage, maybe some of their products got hit, but not all of their products. So the company is not going to go bankrupt because they can't sell stuff, right? They have still a whole host of products, right? Okay, wheat's down, but hey, Vienna sausage is still a sell, right? Kids are still going to school.
They
People
also have
still
the
want,
finance side.
and they also
Yeah,
have the finance
have the
side as
finance
well,
side. So
right? Because when those things are going down, sometimes, oh, a relative up in New York is saying, yo, you need our money? Send it through Western Union. And Grace is the primary selling agent of Western Union. So they're going to collect some funds off of those transactions. So it's not fixed. And there are other companies too that are heavily diversified. Look at Massey. Massey has several, several. Massey does a whole host of things, right?
they're huge in
Trinidad,
the
when I
gas
went to Trinidad,
industry.
they're huge in Trinidad, Yeah, they're
IGL, Gas Pro. Look at that
IGL,
acquisition. It
Gas
got
Pro,
approved.
exactly. Mm-hmm.
They
Right?
call they could
Massive.
literally control. They literally control cooking gas in Jamaica, LPG. I think
Mm-hmm.
it's like
Mm-hmm.
80% of the market.
Yeah, exactly. In Trinidad, I realized there are a lot of massive supermarkets all over the place.
I think they
Right?
own Hilo in Trinidad, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
believe so. Yeah. Yeah. Right. A lot of their supermarkets massive. There are a lot of retail stores. They sell cars, I believe. I'm almost sure that they have like they sell a lot or they distribute a lot of. I'm pretty sure it's cars they sell in Trinidad as well. They're very popular down that side. They have a ton of things to do. So yeah, it's harder for them to get hit because you have to get hit on several fronts if there are any economic shocks. So I do like companies where they are diversified themselves and they probably invest too. So suppose they make investment gains here, right? Look at companies that also have their money in investments as well.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Why? What else do we look for when we're picking a stock? There must be some other things we look for.
I'd say I try to find companies that